Welcome to this somatic meditation for cultivating awareness. Let's start by arriving in our bodies, and you can do this standing, lying down, or seated. What movement would be welcome for you right now to help bring you into your body and into the space that you're in? You might like to roll your shoulders. You might like to move your head from side to side. You might want your movements to be quite open and expressive, really finding length through your arms, the sides of your body, right down through your legs to your toes. It might be some really slow, gentle movements from a lying down position. Maybe your knees are bent, and you could gently swish your knees from side to side. But really bringing in that movement that is going to help you to start to cultivate that awareness. There's no right or wrong, just taking it slow. And as you tune in, what has your attention right now? As you arrive here, can you notice what has your attention? It might be some thoughts. It might be some sensations in your body. It could be a particular feeling or emotion. And can you allow that to be there? So try not to judge it. It might feel uncomfortable. But can you invite it to be there? And can you allow yourself to be curious and open and compassionate to whatever is coming up for you right now as you arrive? Start to slow your breath down. If it feels available, start to breathe in and out through your nose. And you might invite your inhales to become a little bit deeper, sending it down towards your belly button and lengthening out your exhales. If you feel like you need a little more energy in your body, take a deeper inhale, but really slow it down. And let it out with a sigh. And you can do that a few more times. If you're feeling quite high energy or maybe a little bit overactivated, maybe feeling a little bit anxious, I invite you to lengthen out your exhales. Still take in a slow but deep breath in. And really lengthen out that exhale out through your mouth. And can you notice any areas that you might be tensing or gripping in your body? Start to scan through your body, get an overall view. Are there any areas that you are holding or resisting the urge to release and soften? And with these next few breaths, tune into those areas with kindness. Try not to judge them. But imagine you could send your breath to those areas. They might be areas that you know you consciously hold. They might be areas that you had no idea you were tensing. And can you allow those areas to soften just a little bit more without worrying whether they do or don't completely? You might still be inviting in some movement here, or you might want to find a little bit of stillness. And let's start to connect to the surface beneath us. Notice the parts of your body that touch the floor. If you're standing, see if you can really press your feet into the floor. Spread your toes. See if you can press all of your toe tips into the floor. And you might do that one by one. And notice those sensations that come into your toes, the soles of your feet, and those sensations that start to spread up through your legs. And if you're lying down, maybe your hands can touch the floor and you might press your palms, your fingertips into the floor. If you're sitting on a chair, invite your pelvis to feel really heavy so you can feel that support beneath you. And where are those areas that feel more connected to the surface beneath you? Maybe they feel a little bit heavier. What are those sensations that come up when you notice that contact point? Being really curious about what you can sense here. And again, you might be still, or you might be a little bit more active here, pressing areas into the floor so that you can really feel those areas. Maybe you can feel the weight of your head resting on the floor. Maybe it's a part of your back as you lean into the chair. Maybe you're shifting from foot to foot, sending a little bit of weight into one foot and then the other if you're standing. And making sure that you are breathing slow and steady. In and out through your nose if that's available. But if that doesn't feel right today, just finding that steady, conscious breath that will guide you through the movements. Spend a few more breaths noticing the contact points of your body against the floor or the chair or any props that you might be using. And can you find a place in your body or within your experience right now that feels the most stable and the most grounded or supported for you? Where might that be? It could be a place that feels quite comfortable. It could be a place that feels soft, like if you've got a pillow under your head. It could be that feeling of not having to hold yourself or tense yourself. You can really fall into that support, that embrace of the earth. And how would it feel to allow yourself to really be supported, to maybe become just a little bit more comfortable? And again, noticing if there are any parts of your body that feel tight or tense or gripping. And you could come back to a few of those deep sighing breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth, softening and releasing just a little bit more. Acknowledging that something within you is feeling tense, and that's okay. Can we become aware of it? Can we hold space for it? And we'll take around 10 more breaths here. Settle into that slow, steady rhythm. And can you become aware of the movement that your body makes as you breathe? Tuning into any subtle movements, perhaps through your stomach, your ribs, your chest. Noticing the rise and fall. Are there areas that feel more open and spacious as you breathe in? And areas that soften and release as you breathe out? Where do you feel your breath the most? Remember to keep it gentle, keep it soft, and if anything doesn't feel right at any point, you can open your eyes, come back into the room, scan your environment, or come back to that place of stability and support in your body. You can still be moving as you do this practice, moving your legs, your arms, any part of your body that you feel called to, but in a really gentle way. Can you become aware of the temperature of your breath, perhaps around your nose or in your mouth or throat? Settle into a rhythm of breath that feels comfortable for you. And I invite you to bring your awareness down to the tips of your toes. And you might bring some movement into your toes, giving them a little wiggle. Or maybe just sending your awareness down to each of your toes one by one. Are there any sensations in your toes? Moving to the soles of your feet, can you feel the skin on the soles of your feet? And any sensations there? It could be material from your socks, it could be sensations of the floor, it could be a coolness or a warmth. And how would it feel to allow your feet, the soles of your feet, your ankles and toes, to feel heavy, to really let them soften, really let them relax? Giving them this moment of rest that they deserve. And start to scan up through your legs, from your ankles, moving up through your shins, your calves, right to your knee joint. And let's take a moment to scan just the lower half of the left leg. How does the lower half of your left leg feel? Are there any subtle sensations? Is there anything really obvious? And remembering that you can always bring a little bit of movement in, but you might bring your hands to this area and maybe massage out your calf if that feels available. Or you could point your toes away from you, stretching through the top of your foot and into your shin, and then draw your toes up towards you. So you're stretching through the calf and down the back of your ankle. So you're able to bring in a little bit more awareness and a little bit more movement into the lower half of the leg just by moving your foot. You could roll your ankle a couple of times in one direction and then the other. How would that feel in the lower half of your leg? And you could extend your leg out long, moving into the knee joint, and then bend into the knee, bringing your heel closer towards your bum. Or maybe you place your foot back down on the floor if you're sat on a chair, just working with whatever position you are in, bringing a little bit of gentle movement into the knee and noticing how it feels in the left leg. And then allow the left leg to rest and move over to the right leg, bringing in that same movement that you might have brought into the left leg, and really noticing how it feels on the right side, and remembering that it might feel different. Can we allow space for any imbalances, any differences? Remembering that you might experience pain or discomfort, and really moving through any pain or discomfort with loving awareness. You can always stop moving if anything feels too much. And remembering to come back to your breath, using your breath to guide the movement. Moving into your right knee if you haven't already, bending the knee, extending the lower half of the leg, pointing the right toes away and then drawing them up towards you, rolling through your ankles a few times, and then allowing your right leg to rest. And bring your awareness into your pelvis and around your hips. And maybe see if you can allow your pelvis to feel a little bit heavier if you're sitting down. If you're lying down or standing, you might bring a little bit of movement into your hips. If your knees are bent, feet to the floor, let your knee fall out to the side, bring it back to center. You could roll into your hip joints. What gentle movement could you do if you're sitting down to bring a little bit more awareness into your hips, into your pelvis? Perhaps rocking your pelvis backwards and forwards, pelvic tilts. Or maybe rocking your pelvis side to side, could connect breath and movement as you become aware of any sensations in your hips, your pelvis, your low back. And then moving up through your waist, your stomach, your low back. And are there any sensations in your waist, your stomach? What gentle movement could you invite here? You might be moving your spine side to side. If you're lying on the floor, it might be swishing your knees from side to side. Just bringing in that awareness to your waist, your rib cage. You might be able to sense your breath here. And keep scanning up through your chest, into your shoulders, your upper back. Bringing some gentle movement into your shoulder joints. Depending on how much space you've got around you, you could roll your shoulders. You could sweep your arms overhead or out wide. Take it slow. Breathe and move. And what sensations can you feel across your chest, into your shoulders and upper back? As much or as little movement as you like. As you move up into your neck, what sensations can you notice, observe in your neck? You might turn your head from side to side, you might roll your head round in circles. Paying close attention to any sensations in your neck and moving up into your jaw, moving up into your face, the muscles of your face. And bringing any movement into your face if that feels appropriate. You could turn your eyes to look to the right and turn your eyes to look to the left. Becoming aware of any sensations in your head, across your forehead, the back of your head, and then landing at the crown of your head. You might invite some stillness into your body. And taking 5 more breaths, observing. How do you feel in the wholeness of how you are, in the wholeness of your experience? If there was a word or a few words to describe how you are right now, what might they be? Remembering that there is no right or wrong. Everything is welcome. And as you move away from this practice today, how could you take care of yourself and your needs? So depending on how you feel and what came up for you, what might you need right now. It could be a little bit more movement. It could be having a drink of water, getting something to eat. It could be going outside or connecting with somebody. What would be available to you? If you like to journal, I really do invite you to make a few notes of anything that came up, anything that came into your awareness today. Journaling is a really great way of keeping track and noticing what works for us and what doesn't. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. When you are ready to move, bring some movement in. Maybe a big full body stretch or hugging your knees to your chest. Take care and speak soon. Bye.